Hey there, I'm Brad from Teaminal. If you work on a remote team, you know that agile meetings like Standup, sprint planning, and retro can be a slog. Teaminal lets you conduct those meetings asynchronously, giving your team back 2 or 3 hours a week. For stand-ups, you can schedule a reminder, which will send an email and also a post to Slack like this, and then your team can post a status update whenever they have time. So I'm going to say I'm working on the demo. That'll also share the update right here in Slack. Over in the app itself, you can see that update as well. You can also post them from here as well, obviously. Also, when you post an update, it will attach recent activity that person's done. So I closed a Jira issue yesterday and opened a PR. I think they were the same thing. You can also comment on status updates. So I can say, hey Jen, I need some help. And she'll of course get a notification with that message. For planning pokers, we're going to start off here in Jira. Anytime you create a new issue, so let's drop one in here, create this issue, that'll automatically create a planning poker task in Teaminal. So it's asking your team to vote on how many story points they think this is. Let's say I think it's a 2. You can also, of course, have a conversation in here. You can say, what about the integration with Slack? Right, so anyways, you can have conversations in here. You can reply, people can like your comments, whatever. After everyone has decided how many story points you think this is, so hopefully you can have a few more votes than one. With a single click, you can push those points back into Jira. It'll close this out as a task, so it's no longer a thing that people are expected to do. And of course, you can do all this through Slack as well. So in the Slack app, I'm going to vote on this previous one. So I vote. Everyone has now voted. So I actually, the other users have already voted on this one. Some folks think it's a 1, some folks think it's a 2. I thought it was a 3. And same deal right here from Slack. You can also just go ahead and push those points back to Jira as well. Backlog refinement is pretty similar to the planning poker feature in the sense that you get to sort of pull your team. You can configure it to basically dredge through your backlog and pull up some of the older issues. Then your team can vote on whether it's ready to start working on, maybe doesn't have clear acceptance criteria yet and is not quite ready, or if the issue is no longer relevant and should potentially be closed. So we'll go ahead and vote. Of course, the rest of your team's votes would show up here as well. And then you can have a conversation on the issue if you need to. And then once everyone has decided, you can go ahead and close this task out. And then you can do all these exact same things from Slack as well. So when the refine is created, it'll post in there. You can then vote directly from here as well. Once everyone has voted, this will change to the same option to close the refine. For retro, you can schedule a reminder. So it'll show up like this in Slack. It'll also send an email. And then in the app, the retro will show up in the timeline along with everything else. Like here's a status update. But if you click into it, you get sort of this detail view. And in this detail view, you also see your recent status updates, so your own contributions. If you're like me, you probably don't really remember what happened over the last 2 weeks when you're actually sitting down for retro. And each of those status updates will also show what you did each day, or each day you posted a status update. And then for the retro itself, it'll show sort of all the work your entire team did. So it'll show all the issues closed, all the PRs opened. And then as you're doing the retro, you can post action items. So if something comes up during retro that you want to remember to take care of, you can close these out, obviously. And then there's a view here up in the dashboard to actually see all your action items across all retros. And then retro itself. So you can post sort of down here with comment, say, recorded a demo this sprint, finally. And then you can hop into somebody else's and say, I agree, I disagree, whatever. The idea is that conversation will sort of coalesce around these top level items. You can like other folks' posts, and then you can use up here, you can sort by likes, say, if you want to discuss sort of the most voted on things. If you want to talk about just went well, for instance, you can filter down to that view. And then you can pop out back to the timeline when you're done.